ladies and gentlemen. This is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and there is a crisis in certifying President Donald Trump's election. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. And if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, please check that address in the lower right-hand corner. It's youtube.com/@ExplainAmerica. And when you get there, please hit subscribe, absolutely free. It really helps us out. Guys, we got a problem here. Republicans, and I'm a Republican, Republicans have this thing where when they get in power, they start fighting with each other. There is a razor-thin House majority. Razor thin. And now, everybody's posturing, everybody's trying to become an internet star, get on Fox News, thump their chest. They don't want Mike Johnson. They want somebody else. Let me tell you guys something. Because you're going to hear a lot of chatter, and a lot of these guys are going to turn your head, and they're going to go, they're right. Yeah, we should get rid of Mike Johnson. We don't have the room. We don't have a 20-vote majority where we can play around with this and pick a speaker. This is consequential because if there's not a speaker in place on January 6th, there's a chance we cannot certify the election, especially if objections are raised, and you know Democrats are going to raise objections. Very unlikely that they won't. Now, in a long-form scenario here, what could happen is Kamala Harris could become the interim president if we don't certify those electors by January 20th because of the presidential line of succession. That being said, I don't think Republicans will let it get to that point, but the problem, even if they pick a speaker on January 6th after chaos, the problem is what we're showing the American people. We're showing them we're not a serious party, not capable of governing. And I'm going to give you guys a list. Well, Speaker Johnson's a problem. Okay. Well, Speaker John Boehner was the problem, and they ran him out of town. He was replaced by Speaker Paul Ryan. Then he was the problem, and they ran him out of town. Then came Speaker McCarthy, and he was the problem, so they ran him out of town. And now here comes Speaker Mike Johnson. Maybe the problem is a small group of Republicans who don't understand how Washington works, who don't understand how government works, how the founders set up the Constitution, how we're supposed to actually perform as a functioning government. I am a Republican telling you this. Other Republican channels, they want you to tune in. They want your clicks. They want your views, and they're going to tell you the most outrageous, outlandish things they can about how horrible Johnson is, and if only we had Speaker blah, blah, blah. But here's what happens. They will get Speaker blah, blah, blah. Speaker blah, blah, blah will have to figure out how to work with the Democrats because we got a 2-vote majority. So they're going to have to make some concessions because you can't get everything you want in this world. We teach that to children when they're babies, and once that Speaker blah, 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 who was the great hope, makes concessions to Democrats, they'll run him out of town and say we need a new speaker. It's a never-ending cycle of a part of the Republican Party that is never satisfied, that loves to thump their chest, that loves to be in the news. They are the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez part of our party, but the difference is Democrats can have a 1-vote majority. They do stick together. They voted for Pelosi even when some of them hated her because they know that the actual objective is to stop the other party from getting power, not your own. So, yeah, is Speaker Johnson perfect? No, and I got news for you. If you could pick Jim Jordan, no speaker's going to be perfect because they have to govern once they have the job. They can't just thump their chest on the TV news. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you shouldn't be angry at Johnson. You should be angry at the Republicans putting us in this position time and time again. That's who should get your anger. I want you to watch this video, really understand what's at stake here, and then let me know what you think in the comments.
To what they're going to do what's right and bend to President Trump's will.
Well, look at oil exports out of Canada to the U.S. and electricity. The numbers are there to support them wanting to work this out with Trump. You know, obviously, big news, the big vote for House Speaker. That's next Friday. Mike Johnson's future in that role is in question right now. You're warning any effort to remove him, though, could delay the certification of the 2024 election happening 3 days later. So what is your state of play?
Well, first, I think Mike Johnson is the most conservative member or conservative speaker we've ever had. And he's got a historically narrow margin, and he's got one of the toughest jobs, if not the toughest job in the country. Republicans we're not sheep. We don't just do as the leader says. We're all, it's like herding cats, but not little house cats, like big lions, on the Serengeti. We all have our say. So Mike's got a difficult job, but he's done a great job over the last 15 months, considering the situation. He's got an excellent relationship with President Trump. I mean, can you imagine John Boehner or Paul Ryan going to a UFC fight with Donald Trump? There's no way that would happen. So, Mike, so this is what will happen, though. We've already had the nominations process within our Republican conference, Cheryl. And Mike was selected and elected, if you will, unanimously. There was no other candidate. And I believe the Republican conference, we're people of our word. So we've all already pledged to go and vote for Mike on the House floor. And I think we should do that, because if we don't, we can't get sworn in. And if we're not sworn in, we cannot certify the presidential election on January 6th. So I don't want Joe Biden to be in office 1 second longer than constitutionally necessary. Mm-hmm. So I want to get this done. Mike's the person. He's the right man, right place, right job. At the right time, quite frankly, and let's move forward. And you know what? Fulfill the promises that we've made to the American people on the campaign trail this past November.
And start the 100 days, the beginning of the president's